That's right, he's back. The man who dominated the new players division last year, Rocky Mendes, first time on camera this season in Division 3 against Will McCarty at the bottom, but you look at the points difference this time. Will also came up from the new players division, but sitting on 26 points. Rocky's back on 15, so this being week 4, you'd imagine that a bad result for Rocky is probably season over. We've seen Will on camera every week, I think, and he's played this deck consistently, so he knows this pretty well now. I've commentated every week, and I made a few mistakes last week. Inspiring Statuary, improvise only for artifacts, not for all spells, and he's up against Mono Red here. So again, we've seen this sort of match up a number of times. It boils down to a race. The key card, which you can see Will has in hand, is Paradoxical Outcome. It's going to draw him a ton of cards. But you can see there's 6, 7, there's 9 power on the board on Rocky's side, so he can't muck around here. Well, he's just cast Karnoff Improvise, so I'll have to look into that rule again. So he's going to put up a blocker. He's got 2 blockers. One's a massive 7/7. Is he going to tap all his blockers? Wow. No, he's not. No, I thought that would have been a bit silly. You can just see there the... I wonder if he's going to fire off the cut to ribbons or do 2 damage. He would have, if he had gone for that paradoxical outcome there, he would have just been dead to a lightning bolt off the top. Here's a suicide attack. And in response, the paradoxical outcome comes down. So that's more efficiency there from Will. And look at how many cards he draws. Still at 8. And you can see the paradoxical outcome means that he lost his, whatever you call that thing, a Skyon or whatever it was from Khan. Colorless artifact, we'll just call it that. It's a 3/3. And now the deck is going to go to work. So I think Rocky missed his chance there. If he was going to win the match, I think he had to do it then and there. Because once Ether Flux Reservoir comes down, you can see he's up to 13 life now. Rekindling Phoenix is going to be a nuisance though. It's probably going to take down Khan, you'd imagine. But I was going to say, this red deck, well, it looks like it's red-black anyway, does play main deck Braids. I think at least 3, so he does have the answer main deck to beat the Aetherflux Reservoir. Once you beat the Aetherflux Reservoir with this deck, the other card you have to beat is Master Thopterist, and you can just see how this deck's going at the moment for Will. You can imagine the amount of Thoppers that are going to be flooding the board, and there's Psy right there. But he can't be taken because he's not actually an artifact himself. Excuse me. He's thinking about getting on the front foot here, decides against it. Not really much point when there's that Rekindling Phoenix sitting on the other side. What he does have to be wary of here is a Chandra Ultimate on the other side. Okay, this is going to take down Khan. No, it's not, because he's got 2 flying blockers. The Ornithopter and the Glintless Crane. Going at the face, I think and again, a second paradoxical outcome. And again, a ton of cards drawn. He does have the Aetherflux Reservoir again, you can see it there. That's the first card he plays out. And now will draw a Weathership, Weatherlight Captain is going to draw him a card every time he plays an artifact, so that's a big one. He's up to 20 life, so all that early damage from Rocky has gone to waste. And I think, is he trying to go off here? He's at 29. I think he's, yeah, Rocky had seen enough. We're going to game two. I think against this deck, you have your one chance to do the damage. If you don't do it, then on to game two. But this keep from Will doesn't look as exciting as in the previous game. And if he's got an answer coming up to Sai, because I think he's going to tap out for Sai, you can see he's got no 0 mana artifacts at this stage. So Rocky here, probably with game two locked up if he takes down that Sai. Oh, that's a big one. Sorcerer's Spyglass. No counter spell on the other side. So if you name either Flux Reservoir, I'll just confirm that for you. Once he's resolved it, he'll name either Flux Reservoir and shut down the. Oh no, he named Khan Sky and Urza. He could have named either Flux Reservoir and shut down the Wincon. But yeah, this is not looking good at all. Down comes Hazaret with haste. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. So lethal on board next turn. Need something right now. Yeah, we're going to game three. I'm not sure how he's. I haven't even seen a red source in 2 games from Will. And this is the deciding game. After Will took game one, Rocky came back and took game two. Keep in mind the points here. Pressure is on Rocky to get the wins. He's got to close the gap at the top. Well, Magma Spray is a clean answer to that Scrap Heap Scrounger. Scrap Heap Scrounger is going to be rotating out. It's one of those cards that is just a mainstay in Standard basically since day one. It's going to be a bit strange watching Standard without a Scrounger running around. And we're only about 2 weeks away from that happening. Well, Chain Wheel is going to be a beast in this matchup if Sai ever gets going. One option he had there was he can use the Prophetic Prism to make red mana to take down the Scrap Heap Scrounger. But he's going to go for card draw instead. I think he's a bit risky putting his life total that low, particularly if cards like Hazaret on the other side. Okay, so River's Rebuke bounces the board. That's going to give him some time. A second Heart of Quran and a Goblin Chain Whirler. But you can see 8 life. He's got to get going pretty soon here, Rocky does. You just get the feeling that Will is probably a card away from doing what he wants to be doing. And he does have 2 paradoxical outcomes, so he has a lot of card draw available to him. Well, 7 damage coming across here. He's just flat out dead next turn. River's Rebuke is gone already. I'd be surprised if he had a second one. Okay, he's got a Aetherflux Reservoir and he's got 1 Mox Amber. 2 Mox Ambers, sorry. So he can gain some life. No, he's just dead. Yeah, he pumps the thing. So Rocky takes Standard 2 games to 1. A big comeback there. And we saw this from Will last week. This is like a Blue Moon deck that he plays. He's going to keep both of those on top. A minor misplay there, putting the land on before he takes the opt. The problem is that he can't actually crack, otherwise the opt is gone. I don't know what Rocky's doing. Oh, actually, no, sorry, because Will recorded this, so these art that we see belongs to Will's computer program, not Rocky's. So that Bloodstained Mire that looks like a jewel land is actually modified by Will, not Rocky. Now, Collective Brutality. The problem here for Will is that Blue Moon has a pretty bad matchup against Black Red Hollowone because Black Red doesn't really care about Blood Moon, and also because Blue Moon tends not to have strong graveyard hate. Also in these Blue Moon decks, you can see Will's playing. Will is playing two. He's got two Ramands in hand. I'm not a huge fan of. I play Remand because when I play this, I play with Kiki Jiki combo. So Ramand's a good time walk to find you your combo. But I think when you're not playing, when you're not searching for something specific, it's better to. It's better to have something like Mana Leak. But two-turn clock right there. Awoken Horror comes down, and here's Gurmo Gangler, which is outclassed by the Awoken Horror. He is going to get back his flyer, though. Burning Inquiry. I'm just looking, can he snap? He can actually snap bolt snap, so if Rocky takes a hit here, he's just dead. He's got a block with the Gurmo Gangler. He's got to fetch a Steam Vents here. Untapped, yeah. I would have done this before. Okay, that's another way. A nice play from Will there. He's going to bolt snap bolt the Gurmo Gangler instead and push through the Awoken Horror for the damage. So 1-0 up, just like in standard. Will takes game 1. Here's a Burst Lightning, so it does 2, you can overload it for 4. Yeah, I don't mind keeping both those. He's got Surgical, so he's found one of his graveyard hate cards, and this is going to be a big one here. We'll see what he can find, see what he can get with it. Well, Bloodghast could be a good target here. Yeah, he's going to, I like that. He's going to Surgical the Bloodghast. He'll get to look at the hand as well. Fairy Macabre. Interesting that came in. Well, Fairy Macabre must have come in just as a response to Snapcaster, I'm guessing. So no Bloodghasts. Here's a Burning Inquiry. So he does have the answer to that Flame Blade, or to the Hollowone next turn with the Braid. Braid can take down Hollowone. I would have fired that off in combat, because you don't know how much he's going to pump this Flame Blade now. And the problem with Flame Blade is it has Menace. So if he wants to block later on, he couldn't do it. I think he's just dead here. He needs something right now. He needs to opt into a... No, he's just dead because he can't block either of those. He needed to opt into a Lightning Bolt. So we're going to game 3. Too late. Yeah, that's a pretty good keep, that hand, actually. I'd take that a Braid for sure. Yeah, he's going to put it second. But this hand that he's got with the Braid coming, I think he's got a pretty well set up to combat this deck. The only thing he's really kind of missing here, because you can see it's a Hollowone, it's like, yeah, impressive on turn 1, or 2 of them is super impressive. 3 of them, oh, this does not... Yeah, he's got opt though, so he can... He's going to take 8 and go to 10. He's got to deal with one of them. He can only deal with 2 at this stage. He really needed a second red source there, and he can take down the Adept and the Hollowone. Down to 10. Because he's got no answer to that second Hollowone. That's the big problem here. He's really needed a second red source. You can see Rocky's doing all this off one land. Okay, Cryptic is going to buy him a turn. Hey, how does that blood... Oh, that was turn... game 2. Yeah, I don't know how he gets out of this with Blue Moon. Yeah, this is a sort of draw that the Hollowone deck. Like if you draw up your perfect draw, this was it. This is the perfect play. Now he's got to... Because the problem with Blue Moon, it doesn't have a, and he's going to concede there, so we're going to Legacy. Blue Moon doesn't have a board wipe, like a Supreme Verdict or a Terminus or anything like that that can get you out of that problem. In a way, that's why I like to play the Kiki Jiki combo, because it's kind of a get out thing. You can win games from positions you shouldn't be allowed to win. And here's a deck that's possibly one of the most boring decks on the planet to watch, and that's lands on Rocky's side. Rocky's going for a clean sweep after taking modern. He's up against Jeskai. What do they call it? It's like Jeskai Stoneblade. But you can see all the lands already. So Tundra is not long for this world, I would imagine. Ghost Court is going to be able to take down the. I'm just looking. He's got two. I don't see islands. He's only got 3 basics in his deck, so he's going to get hammered here. There's Wasteland going to work. So no land. Oh, he did have an island, I think I saw. He's got 3 more basics left. Yeah, so he's going to start dredging with life from the land, get back. Ghost Court is going to do some huge work here. Maze of Ith is going to make things difficult. It's going to be a tough one to win here now. So there's a Ghost Quarter. He's down to 2 basics. The problem is he can't actually bring in that sword because he's going to have nothing to equip it to. And if he even found a Batterskull, he's not going to be able to send a Batterskull either because of the Maze of Ith. Yeah, I think he's just checking his deck here to see what have I got that can actually win this match. Generally, I normally play Black Red Reanimator, and I found in Legacy, I actually play Blood Moon or Alpine Moon in the sideboard in Black Red because Alpine Moon is pretty good. You can play it on turn 1, and it protects against things like Wasteland, particularly where you only run 2 basics. But it also shuts off their combo with Dark, you don't name Dark Depths, you name what's it called? I forget the name of that card. Thespian Stage. And you can see here, I think he's seen enough. He's going to concede, so we're going to go to game 2. Really tough this matchup to win. All these counter spells are all useless because there's nothing to counter. I guess you could counter a life from the loam. Surgical is going to be awesome here. So, I don't know if he's got Snapcaster Mage, but he's going to do some damage with that Surgical. But you can see awkwardly he doesn't have a second blue source either for that counter spell. What's he surgically? Oh, he's going to Surgical Life. Okay, I like that one. That's a nice play. So have a good look there. So no more life from the loam for Rocky. I think he's looking for a blue source here. Caracas, I think, could go back because I would have shuffled Caracas away there. It's not doing anything in this matchup. So life from the loam means all those lands are not coming back from the graveyard. And we haven't seen any. Okay, so now he's got a clock. We haven't seen any Wasteland yet. We're up. Oh, Tabernacle was an awesome card. This is a sort of card that you can only play if you're playing X-Mage, because that card costs about. He's going to be able to Snapcaster back a Surgical here, so this is going to be brutal. Looks like Will's going to tie this game up. Sorry, Tabernacle at Pendrell Haven is the sort of card you can only play in Legacy on X-Mage because it costs about $2,000+. I don't think many people have those things running around in their collections. So 2-turn clock with 2 True Name Nemesis here. Here's Wasteland. I wonder if he's going to be interested in snapping back. Oh, there's Thespian Stage. So he's assembling the combo pieces. He does have Swords to Plowshares though. Oh, and here's a Rest in Peace just to rub it in. I'd snap back a Surgical on the Wasteland first. It doesn't matter, he's dead next turn anyway. Oh, no more Surgicals. Only the combo can save him. He does not have it, so we're going to game 3. So all 3 games, all 3 formats have gone to 3 games, but it's been Rocky that's come out on top both times. So we're trying to recover some points here. Let's see what gamble. Croaks and Grove of the Burn Willows. It's not too bad. Exploration. There's a Dark Depth, so part 1 of the combo. You can see though 2 Brainstorms, so he does have some tools to fight here. I think I'm not a huge fan of the sword here. And you can see Thespian Stage, he's just flat out dead next turn. He needs to find a Swords to Plowshares immediately. He does not, so there's Merit Large. He's got 21 life points, he's down to 1. So he needs to find, what's he got? He's got 2 Brainstorms, he's going to have, and he's got a Flooded Strength. So he does have a chance here. I wouldn't have brainstormed them. Still can't find it. No, he's played the wrong one, is he? No, Caracas, yeah, nice. Okay, I was wrong before when I spoke of Caracas. But Caracas is very effective to shut down the combo. But if we know there's Wastelands and Ghost Quarters on the other side, that's going to be a problem. I wonder if Entrancing Melody can steal Merit Large, because Merit Large doesn't have a mana cost. I'm hoping we get to that part of the game to see. You see Caracas held up there. Dredging Life from the Loam again. So he's got Wastelands, he's going to be able to get that back this time. So is this luck run out for Will? I think that's luck run out. That's game. So Rocky's going to take down Legacy 2 games to 1, I believe, and that's going to... See, here comes Merit Large again. No answer to it this time. Nothing you can do on the other side. So Rocky takes all 3 games, 2 games to 1, and when we look at the points, the overall points, Rocky will move to 27 and will stay ahead of him on 29 points, but Rocky now right back in the action. Flashes and click to buy him a turn, but the only thing I can think of that can get him out of this is Swords to Plowshares. I want to see this Entrancing Melody to see if it's going to steal or not. He's going to go for it, so it must be able to. Yeah, he's stolen Merit Large. Now, Rocky has to do something right now or he's dead. Oh, he's got a Barbarian Ring. 2 damage, so he takes it.